Gayton McKenzie, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, back in September announced that some of the country's flagship festivals would have their funding cut. It's left a lot of festivals, or the future of these festivals, in jeopardy as they rely on these critical funds to function year after year. Well-established and well-loved events such as the Cape Town Carnival, the Cape Town International Jazz Festival, the St. Oosterfeest and the Open Book Festival have all been directly affected by the withdrawal of national funding. The budget cuts were announced, as I said, in September and left organisers scrambling to secure alternative funding as they prepare for next year's events. Joining us on the line to tell us how it's impacted her organisation is Jay Douwes, the CEO of the Cape Town Carnival. The last time you and I spoke was back in September, and you weren't sure what the way forward was for the Cape Town Carnival following this announcement by the Department of Art and Culture. How have things changed since then, Jay?
Well, we petitioned the minister and obviously all our other sponsors to see if anyone can support us to fill the gap. We've had no positive responses from the minister or his office. And well, we're just working really hard on finding alternatives, building relationships wherever we can. But without government support, especially for a community-based event, it is hell of a difficult to build on what we have already built, and which is such an amazing asset for government and for the private sector. So it's very destructive for both us and all the other national flagships because they've been built up and they're doing amazing things.
Jay, I know that you work closely with the organisers of these other festivals and you all support one another and try and brainstorm together of ways to come up with funding. What impact is all of this having on both your future and the future of the other festivals that you know of?
Well, I'm not sure how people are making it work. I think everyone's scrambling, and we've just applied absolutely everywhere. But unfortunately, you need quite a long lead time. And since we were flagships, we did rely to a large extent on having national government funding. It's not all of your funding. It's by no means a large percentage of your funding, but it's an amount that it's a significant amount that means you can rely on that, and you build all your other funding around that. So it really is shocking, but most shocking is not to have any warning. It is, as I say, we've been getting national arts and culture funding for 15 years, as have all of these flagships, and then you just suddenly, without any warning, you don't have a year to plan for something else or to develop something else. So we really, really are scrambling, but I don't really know what to say. We just, we're putting one foot in front of the other and really working on diversifying our funding base. But it's a tough one. And I really just want to talk a bit about what the stuff is that we stand to lose, both for us and for the other festivals. It's job creation, it's skills transfer, it's socializing unemployed people into institutions, of how to work within an organization and to develop those social skills as well as the hard skills. It's giving opportunities to performers and artists, which is a sector that, it's not just an unimportant sector. There are a large number of people who don't play sport, who aren't good with numbers or in, corporate. These are our citizens as well. They also need jobs and they also need a way to express their skills. So, I think it's very short-sighted of our government and difficult for all of us, yeah.
Jay, you touched on it there. My next question for you actually was, why does support for the arts always seem to be pushed to the back burner and support for sport takes priority? As you say, they are equally important.
Yeah, I think sport is amazing, and I personally love physical activity. I think it's really good for us. And so it's started to achieve more and more. I mean, women's sports less so, more and more traction and more funding and support. and particularly from corporates. Let's not just look at government. What are the corporates and government doing about arts and culture, where large numbers of us are creative rather than sporty, and confidence. When you make something or you design something and you actually make it and then you actually perform it to other people, it is incredible for confidence and skill sets. And we see this all the time. So it is. I don't know. I think it's our world, and why arts generally. Look, in other countries, I think there's more support, but in South Africa, I think it's just seen as a nice to have. Doesn't get the same kind of profile.
Jay, we only have 2 minutes left, and in that 2 minutes, I'd love you to talk a little bit about the upliftment for so many thousands of people that Cape Town Carnival provides, because a lot of people don't understand the event, may not have been to a Cape Town Carnival before.
Yeah, well, I think that is something that isn't seen. I think the event on the day is what people see, but they don't see that for a year, 1,500 performers are rehearsing, learning about South African music, about choreography, having facilitators, getting physical exercise, having beautiful activities that are not negative. That's on the one hand, that's all the performers. We've got 50 communities involved in that across the whole of the metropole. And then, of course, all the artists, artisans, crafters, laborers, people who just are transformed by their time in our workshop in Maitland and what they're able to do and earn money while doing it.
Jay, I really hope that there is some kind of fairy godmother or massive corporate sponsor head honcho that's listening to this conversation that's able to reach out and hopefully provide some support to you and maybe the other arts festivals that are struggling. But thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, Jay Douwes, CEO of the Cape Town Carnival.